Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. You use the word spectacle. I use the word circus. I don't know what the fight was terrible. Jake Paul carried him. Mike Tyson, when he came out to do the ring walk, and I saw the knee brace on his right leg, I believe, and I felt like, hey, there's a slight little limp to Tyson as he's walking out to the ring. And then I'm telling you, in my view, 30 to 45 seconds in, Tyson ran out of gas. He was exhausted, and the fight ended 30 to 45 seconds in, but it actually went on for 7 more rounds, 2 minutes a shot. And it kind of put an exclamation point, how boring the fight was. It kind of put an exclamation point. This was a really bad look, I thought, for Netflix. Netflix looked worse than Mike Tyson in the ring, and that's saying something. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, as someone that covers boxing, I get it. I know why they did this, and I know why Mike Tyson did this. It's the money, stupid. It'll always be the money. It's a money game. It's a money business. And there's a lesson for all young fighters out there. If you don't want to be a guy that has to do things like this, save your money, guys. Because, look, my understanding is Mike got about $20 million. I'm not the one that's going to go and feed into his GoFundMe campaign. I get it. He might need the money. He wants the money. Everybody likes a buck. But was it sad to see? It was, Jason, as a child of the 80s and 90s who grew up during the Tyson phenomenon, which I believe started at the start of 1985 when he was this young phenom out of Catskill, this Cinderella story that the media picked up with Customato, and then growing up on national TV, made his debut against Marvis Frazier on ABC, blew him out in 30 seconds, Joe Frazier's son. And then right around that time, he also made the cover of Sports Illustrated at age 18 or 19. I'll never forget it, getting in the mailbox. It said Kid Dynamite, and he was going to be the heir apparent, not to Larry Holmes, but really Muhammad Ali in terms of bringing the star value to the heavyweight division when boxing still mattered. And you had to be in that era, Jason, to really understand how big he was. I mean, think about it. His tumultuous marriage to Miss Robin Givens was such a big story. I'm sure you remember this. Barbara Walters made it a lead story on 2020. I'll never forget. And Mike was kind of sedated, just kind of bored as hell. And Robin actually says, well, Mike beats me. And I'm like, what? He assaults me. I'm like, oh, my God. Robin, you better move. You better get to another bedroom or another home. That's how big he was. And he had national endorsement deals for Diet Pepsi, Kodak, had his own video game. And Jason, I want to see if this is true with you. Me and Mario Lopez on the 3 knockdown rule have talked about this a lot. The Mike Tyson upset loss to Buster Douglas is the JFK assassination of boxing matches and sporting events. In a sense, you knew where you were when you either saw it or heard about it. Is that true for you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was still matriculating at Ball State University. What year was that?
1990, February 10th.
Yes, that was my senior year at Ball State, and I remember watching it with a group of us, and
Yep.
I mean, we lost our minds. I mean, Mike Tyson got knocked out, I'm pretty sure we were at Frank Barnes and these guys. They lived at a house on New York Street at Ball State, and we had a big fight party. And, I mean, Mike Tyson lost. It was incredible.
I mean, this was a fight billed as Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I'm not sure. I mean, we're talking now about Tyson fighting in real fights.
Well, he's going a little nostalgic.
I know,
here,
but this is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers playing golf with Tiger Woods and Phil. This is Bronny James playing opening night in the NBA. This is in that lane. It's on Netflix. This is one of the biggest gambling events in gambling history, though.
It was one of the most obvious bets to make because you could only make money with Jake Paul winning and continue. But let's be honest, the insurance model is broken. Crowd Health puts your health care back in your hands. Use the promo code FEARLESS at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com, promo code FEARLESS. Steve, Tyson put out a tweet saying that he nearly died and had a blood transfusion. But you buying any of that? Is that excuse making, or because Mike physically looked good? I was like, how can this dude's body look basically the same at 57 as it did at 20? So the physical appearance looked great, but there was no fuel in the tank. Are you buying Mike's excuse?
Well, he may have had some pharmaceutical aid. I don't think there was a lot of drug testing for this event. And look, you ever seen that old classic car that looks great? It looks pristine. You know one thing you shouldn't do with it? Actually go out on the freeway. Just spin it around the block on a Sunday afternoon, show off for the ladies, and then you park the doggone thing. And my view is this. Butter, I don't completely agree with you on the point that you made. But I don't think Tiger Woods, even now, would lose a round. After 18 holes, I think he'd still have a better score than Peyton Manning or Tom Brady at any golf course, whether it's a municipal course or whether it's Augusta. Okay? And the issue is that the boxing debase itself. It's done it before. It'll do it again. My friend Larry Merchant, who I had lunch with on Friday, who was actually a little bit curious over this event, believe it or not, had a famous quote about boxing. Ain't nothing gonna kill it. Ain't nothing gonna save it. And as I'm going out to lunch, we always meet at the Water Grill on near Santa Monica, Jason. And I found it interesting that AM 570 and ESPN 710, the drive time shows with DeMarco Farr, Fred Rogan, Rodney Peete, Steve Mason, all the guys that we listen to out here, they never talk about boxing. Trust me. But they spent the first half hour of both their shows, because I was flipping around, giving detailed analysis like this is modern day Frazier Ali. And so a lot of people will say, well, Steve, that's great. They're talking about boxing. See, I look at it a different way as a cynic. I actually think it's an indictment on boxing that the other 364 days of the year, Jason, they never talk about it. See, this is more about Tyson and Paul and their brands more than the sport of boxing, in my view.
It was more about a spectacle and a circus. It was go see the bearded lady, and everybody was hoping and like envisioning this 57-year-old man. You put out, again, this speaks to the power, the negative power really of social media, that he could put out a few little highlight clips on social media of him looking fast and moving. And who knows if they sped the camera up? Who knows what tricks and gimmicks they played to make Mike Tyson look like he was in great shape? And people was like, yeah, he's gonna beat Jake Paul. Look at Mike Tyson still got it. And one of the things you get halfway through this fight, and particularly when Mike kept biting his glove and they ended up debating all of that, and you just start going, when is the last time, and Steve, you're the only person I think that can answer this question. When's the last time we've ever been impressed with Mike Tyson in the ring? What year was it? When was it? Who?
Okay, so you can make an argument that he peaked in 1989. So he became the youngest heavyweight champion in November of 1986 when he beat Trevor Berbick. That was my freshman year of high school. So yes, I do feel and look old. So he had an unbelievable run where he became this iconic figure. And Jason, in our era, in the late 80s, there are three great Mikes: Jackson, Jordan, and Tyson. And I'm not so sure it's in that order, to be honest with you. That the summer of 1989, he beat Carl the Truth Williams. There's a funny story. I'm at Grant Ray Park in Montebello. I'm playing a summer league baseball game, and Mike Tyson happened to be fighting that night. And the baseball coach knew I didn't really want to be there. I wanted to watch the fight. We're warming up, and he says, Steve, I'll make sure you get updates on the fight. And I said, okay. 5 minutes later, he goes, Steve, you can concentrate on baseball now. That fight just ended in one round. That was his last victory before he faced James Buster Douglas in Tokyo, Japan. And it was such a lopsided fight going in. One of the reasons why that fight was in the land of the rising sun, Jason, the American casinos did not want to invest in 2-minute events. They're actually afraid that this was going to be another blowout. So 1989 was the last time I think he really had that aura. Then he served his prison sentence from 91 to about 95, and he was able to win the heavyweight titles against Frank Bruno and then Bruce Seldon in back-to-back fights in 1996 before he ran into a guy by the name of Evander Holyfield in November of that year. So it's literally been about 30 years since he really had even the partial aura of truly being the baddest man on the planet.
But not just that, it's he hasn't looked good in losses, in victories, in any. I don't know when's the last time I was impressed with Mike Tyson, and maybe it was Carl the Truth Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, think about this. His real boxing career ended about 20 years ago when he lost back-to-back fights to Danny Williams and Kevin McBride. And look, not to disrespect those guys, because they get in there, they take punches, they're real fighters. Those were supposed to be fights that were going to lead to bigger fights. They kept setting things up, and he could not knock them down. These were layups that he flubbed like Angel Reese. That is the reality. Also, the persona of Mike Tyson is much different. He's reinvented himself. He's a friendlier guy. He's always smoked out. He has a podcast. He's actually part of the media. And people that now come across him will tell you that he's a gregarious figure. Like, look, don't poke the bear too much, but you can have fun with them. He's more personable than he was. There was a time in the late 90s when he was really an angry guy. You were afraid to get around him. I actually saw it firsthand. And now you fast forward to 2024, he's a different version of Michael Gerard Tyson.
If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.